The man just became the betrayer. Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins' wife, his partner in life and wrestling, the mother of his child, the woman who stood by him through everything, just turned her back on him in the most devastating way possible and joined the Vision. Not just any faction. The group that's been systematically destroying everyone Seth cares about. The people who've made his life a living hell for months. And she did it while looking him in the eyes, while he begged her not to, while their entire relationship shattered in front of millions. If you think you've seen shocking betrayals in wrestling, if you think Seth Rollins destroying the Shield was the ultimate backstabbing, you have no idea what just happened on Raw. Because what Becky Lynch did wasn't just turning heel, it was destroying a family, choosing ambition over love, and proving that in wrestling, nobody is safe from corruption. This isn't just the biggest betrayal of the year, it might be the most personal, most painful betrayal in WWE history. And I'm about to break down every heartbreaking moment of how the man became the most hated woman in wrestling. It started 3 months ago when the Vision began targeting Seth Rollins. They attacked him after matches. They cost him championship opportunities. They made his life miserable. But Seth fought back with everything he had. He's the architect, the visionary. He's survived wars, but the Vision was relentless. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Finn Balor, they came at Seth from every angle. Through it all, Becky Lynch stood by her husband. She gave interviews supporting him. Seth is the strongest man I know. The Vision thinks they can break him? They have no idea who they're dealing with. She was the perfect wife, the loyal partner, the one person Seth could count on when everything else was chaos. But looking back now, there were signs, subtle moments that nobody caught. 3 weeks ago, backstage cameras caught Becky having what looked like a heated conversation with Paul Heyman. At the time, fans thought she was confronting him about the Vision's attacks on Seth. But the footage, now viewed with fresh eyes, shows something different. She wasn't angry. She was listening, nodding, agreeing to something. 2 weeks ago, Becky had a match against Rhea Ripley. She lost clean, but after the match, as Rhea left, cameras caught Becky looking toward the entrance where the Vision members were watching. She made brief eye contact with them and the slightest nod. Fans dismissed it as nothing. Now it was clearly communication. Drop your honest reaction right now. Looking back, did you notice anything suspicious about Becky's behavior? Last week was when things got really strange. Seth had a match against Finn Balor. Becky was ringside to support her husband. The match was brutal, both men giving everything. Late in the match, Finn had Seth set up for the coup de grace. Becky was supposed to distract Finn, to give Seth an opening, but she hesitated. Just for a second. But that second was enough. Finn hit his finish. Seth lost. After the match, Seth confronted Becky. "What happened out there? Why didn't you have my back?" The cameras caught their argument backstage. Becky's response seemed defensive. "I'm tired, Seth. Tired of this war with the Vision. Tired of watching you get destroyed week after week. Maybe it's time to just accept that we can't win this fight." Seth's face showed shock. Accept it? Give up? That's not the Becky Lynch I married. The man doesn't back down. But Becky just walked away, leaving Seth confused and hurt. Fans watching thought it was just marital stress from the constant attacks. Nobody suspected the truth. That brings us to last night's Raw. The show was building toward a massive confrontation. Seth Rollins had challenged the Vision to a match, him versus any of them. His frustration had reached a breaking point. He needed to hurt someone, to get any kind of revenge. The Vision's music hit and they all walked out. Braun, Reed, Logan, Finn, and Paul Heyman. They stood at the top of the ramp, laughing at Seth's challenge. Heyman grabbed a mic. "Seth Rollins, the visionary. The man who thinks passion and determination can overcome superior strategy and numbers. How adorable. But we're not interested in your challenge. We've already broken you mentally. We've destroyed your career trajectory. And now we're going to break you personally." The crowd was confused. What did that mean? Heyman continued, "You see, Seth, you've been so focused on fighting us that you missed what was happening right under your nose. You trusted someone implicitly. Someone who was in your corner. Someone who shared your bed. And that someone has been ours for weeks." Seth's face went from confusion to horror. "No, you're lying, playing mind games." But Heyman just smiled. "Am I? Why don't we ask her directly?" He gestured to the entrance. Becky Lynch's music hit. But it wasn't her normal entrance. The music was darker, more ominous. Becky walked out and the crowd was confused. Was she coming to defend Seth? To prove Heyman wrong? She walked past the Vision members and they parted for her like she was royalty. That's when fans started to realize. Second question for the comments: at what exact moment did you realize Becky had betrayed Seth? Becky walked down the ramp slowly. Her face showed no emotion. Seth was in the ring, shaking his head, refusing to believe. "Beck, tell them they're wrong. Tell them you're with me." His voice was breaking. This was his wife. the mother of his child, his partner in everything. Becky climbed into the ring and stood face to face with Seth. The crowd was silent. You could feel the tension. Seth reached for her hand. Beck, please. Whatever they offered you, whatever they said, we can fight this together. Like we always have. Tears were forming in his eyes. This was raw emotion. Real pain. Becky finally spoke, her voice cold. Seth, I'm tired of fighting your battles. Tired of being known as Seth Rollins' wife instead of the man. Tired of watching opportunities pass me by because I'm too busy supporting you. The Vision didn't offer me anything, Seth. They showed me the truth. That I've been holding myself back for you. The words cut deeper than any physical attack. Seth's face showed devastation. That's not true. We're a team. We support each other. I've always supported your career. But Becky shook her head. You say that. But when was the last time I main event a pay-per-view? When was the last time I held a championship? I've been in your shadow, Seth. And I'm done. She turned to leave but Seth grabbed her arm. Please. Think about what you're doing. Think about our family. Our daughter. You're going to throw that away for them. The desperation in his voice was heartbreaking. But Becky pulled away coldly. Our daughter will understand someday that her mother chose to be great instead of being someone's supporting character. She walked toward the ropes but stopped, turned back, and delivered a devastating kick to Seth's midsection. He doubled over in shock. Not pain, emotional shock that his wife just attacked him. Becky grabbed his head and planted him with the manhandle slam, her finishing move. The crowd was in horror. This was really happening. The Vision rushed the ring. They surrounded Seth like vultures. Braun Breaker hit a massive spear. Bronson Reed delivered a crushing tsunami splash. They destroyed Seth while Becky watched with cold eyes. No remorse. No emotion. Just watching her husband get brutalized. Third question, is there any justification for what Becky did, or is she just pure evil now? Paul Heyman handed Becky a Vision shirt. She put it on over her ring gear. The symbolism was powerful, she was truly one of them now. The crowd was booing louder than they'd ever booed anyone. You sold out, chants echoed. But Becky just smiled. Raised the Vision's signature hand gesture. She'd fully committed to this betrayal. EMTs rushed to check on Seth but the Vision wasn't done. They pulled him up for more punishment. Becky watched from the corner, arms crossed. Her husband being destroyed and she did nothing. Finally, security and WWE officials flooded the ring, separating everyone. The Vision backed up the ramp, Becky standing with them, united. As Seth was helped to the back, cameras caught him looking up at Becky. The pain in his eyes wasn't physical, it was existential. How does someone recover from their life partner betraying them? How does trust ever exist again? The image of Seth's broken expression was haunting. Backstage, chaos reigned. Wrestlers were in shock. Nobody could believe what they'd witnessed. Cody Rhodes found Seth in the medical area. Brother, I'm so sorry. If you need anything dash, but Seth just stared blankly. She's gone. She chose them over us. Over our family. His voice was hollow. Empty. Meanwhile, the Vision celebrated in their locker room. Becky was laughing with them. High-fiving. Acting like she hadn't just destroyed her marriage. Paul Heyman raised a glass to Becky Lynch. The greatest acquisition the Vision has ever made. With her, we're not just dominant, we're unstoppable. Interviews started immediately. Becky faced a backstage reporter. How could you do that to Seth? To your family. Becky's response was chilling. I did what was necessary for my career. Seth has had his time in the spotlight. He's main event WrestleManias. Won world championships. What about me? When do I get my moment without being in someone's shadow? The Vision saw my value when Seth took it for granted. So I made a choice. And I don't regret it. The wrestling world exploded. Social media was in meltdown. Hashtag Becky betrays Seth's trend #1 worldwide. Wrestling journalists called it the most shocking turn in years. Even mainstream media picked up the story. WWE power couple splits in shocking betrayal. The fallout was immediate. Fans were divided. Some understood Becky's frustration about being overlooked. Others called her a monster for abandoning her family. The debate raged across every platform. WWE had created the most talked about angle in years. The following week on Raw, Seth Rollins opened the show. He looked broken, hair disheveled, eyes red from lack of sleep. He grabbed a mic and his voice cracked. Becky, if you're watching, I don't understand. We built a life together. A family. I thought we were partners. If you felt overlooked, why didn't you talk to me? We could have figured it out together. But you chose betrayal. You chose them. And I don't know if I can ever forgive that. Fourth question, could you ever forgive your spouse for doing what Becky did to Seth? But before Seth could continue, the Vision interrupted. All of them, including Becky. Heyman spoke. Seth, you don't get it. Becky didn't betray you, she freed herself. From your ego. From your shadow. From being Mrs. Seth Rollins, now she's the man leading the Vision's women's division revolution, and there's nothing you can do about it. Seth's sadness turned to rage. You want me to do nothing? Fine, but Becky, you and me, one more match. Husband versus wife. Let's settle this in the ring. The challenge was stunning. The crowd gasped. Would WWE actually book this? Becky stepped forward, a wicked smile. You want to fight me, Seth? Your wife? The mother of your child? That's how desperate you are. She paused, considering. You know what? Sure, but not just any match. At the next pay-per-view, mixed tag team. You find a partner, I'll team with one of my Vision brothers, and when we beat you, you leave Raw. You get banished and I never have to see your pathetic face again. The stipulation was massive. Seth's career on the line. Adam Pearce came out, absolutely not. I'm not sanctioning a match between a married couple with their careers on the line. But Seth interrupted. Adam, make this match. I need this. I need closure. I need to prove Becky made a mistake. Pearce reluctantly agreed. The build over the next month was intense. Seth struggled to find a partner who wants to get involved in a domestic situation. Finally, Charlotte Flair agreed. She'd been Becky's rival for years. She wanted to teach Becky about loyalty. Becky chose Finn Balor as her partner. The Demon. Someone who understood darkness. The teams were set. The match was personal and brutal. Pay-per-view night arrived. The match was emotional warfare. Seth couldn't bring himself to hit Becky directly. Charlotte had no such hesitation. She and Becky had vicious exchanges. The men fought with intensity. Seth hit Finn with everything. The finish came when Becky had Charlotte in a submission. Charlotte was about to tap. Seth could save his partner, but that meant physically confronting Becky. He hesitated. The internal conflict clear. Finally, he made his choice. He grabbed Becky and pulled her off Charlotte, but Becky used his hesitation against him. She slapped Seth across the face. You're weak, then hit a manhandle slam. Finn capitalized with a coup de grace on Seth. 1, 2, 3. The Vision wins. Seth was banished from Raw. Fifth and final question, did Seth's inability to fight his wife make him weak or actually prove he still loved her? The aftermath was devastating. Seth moved to SmackDown, broken and alone. Becky became the Vision's queen, leading their women's division takeover. She seemed happy, successful, everything she said she wanted, but occasional camera shots caught her in quiet moments, looking at her wedding ring, watching old videos of her and Seth, the facade cracking, showing that maybe the betrayal cost her more than she admitted. Their daughter became the silent victim, raised in a broken home, parents on different brands, wrestling's most famous couple destroyed by ambition and manipulation. The story raised questions about relationships, about ambition versus love, about whether personal success justifies sacrificing family. WWE created a storyline that transcended wrestling. Months later, rumors suggested reconciliation talks, that Becky regretted her choice, that Seth was willing to forgive, but the Vision wouldn't let her leave. She was trapped in the deal she made. The ultimate irony? Becky joined the Vision to escape Seth's shadow, but now she was in their shadow, following their orders, proving she traded one master for another. Share this video if Becky's betrayal shocked you. Comment whether she's justified or evil. Like if you think they'll reconcile. Subscribe to Wrestling World CC because this story is still developing. Becky Lynch betrayed Seth Rollins, destroyed their family, chose the Vision over love. WWE changed forever. This is the most personal angle in wrestling, and we're covering every moment, because when love and betrayal collide in wrestling, it creates stories we'll remember forever. The man became the betrayer, and wrestling will never be the same.